The man, the legend, the one-man army. Today, we're going to do a review of Mr. Krau, one of the most popular E7 heroes used by many people to get easy wins. Let's go over his skills first. So, his S1, basic Knight S1, does next to no damage, or it does some damage, but the main thing is it has a 50% chance to provoke, 75% at max Mola. So this is how you force enemies to attack him and get his life lower, because you want Krau's life to be low, and we'll go into why in just a little bit. His S2 is excellent. It gives all your allies increased defense, which gives them 60% bonus defense, which is an underrated buff. It makes your team really tanky. On top of that, it also pushes back the combat readiness of the enemy by up to 50%. So it's a really big CR pushback. So if someone's about to go, you can hit them with this, and then they'll be back at the middle of the CR bar. And the damage goes up proportional to his max health. It doesn't hit that hard, but it does do some damage, maybe like 4,000. Now his S3. This is the move that makes Krau. Max Molas, it'll have a 5-turn cooldown. It summons the Guardian Siegfried to attack, dealing damage proportional to the caster's lost health. It penetrates defense. Defense does nothing to Krau's S3. Also, it grants a barrier to Krau after you use it, with strength proportional to the caster's max health. And the point of this is that he uses it when he's low health, and then it gives him a barrier, making it hard for the enemy to kill him right after, and making it a little bit more forgiving to keep him at low health. Keep in mind this can't crit, but it doesn't really matter. If it crit, it would do ridiculous amounts of damage. So the animation itself is pretty cool, and there is a formula for this attack, but roughly, the rough estimate, it does calculate his attack into it to some extent as well, but roughly you can calculate the damage by seeing how much life he's missing. So let's say he was at 1 HP. He has 6,405 life in this dummy battle. You can roughly estimate that it'll do around 6,000 damage then, because he has 6,000 HP missing. In reality, it will do a little bit more than that because it factors in his attack as well, but his attack is usually pretty low, so it's not the biggest factor. The biggest factor is how much health he's missing. So when the enemy gets a turn, it'll show them the enemy's health in this corner here when they get a turn. So if it says, let's say 10k, make sure your Krau is missing 10k at HP, and then hit them with this, and it's pretty much a guaranteed one-shot. Now let's go over how to build them. So, this is my Mr. Krau. Regrettably, not the best built, but about average for the course. Works just fine in most of the content, all the way up to Legend and Champion RTA. I'll probably struggle against the top tier of players. But, like most Knights, pretty easy to build. You want high defense, high health, high speed, and if possible, some effectiveness and effect resist. Effectiveness for the provoke, and effect resist to resist provokes on himself and other debuffs. But the main thing is you want him to have a lot of life, because remember, your maximum life will determine the max damage you can do with your S3, because it depends on how much HP you're missing, and also all his moves like his S1 and his S2 scale off his max health, so he'll do more damage the more health you have. Defense, you want around 1,500. You don't really want that much more than that because of diminishing returns. You might even be able to get away with a little bit less because he has the defense buff incorporated into his kit. Speed, mine's a little on the slow end. You typically want at least 200 speed. Some crazy people will run like 240 speed Kraus. I think that's a little crazy. I think you sacrifice too much for that. But I think around 200 to 210 is a good range for speed. Artifacts, like most Knights, you want Aureus or Adamant Shield, but in Krau's case specifically, you almost always want Aureus because you don't want the other team to ignore him completely, so you can never S3. So you want Aureus so that some of the damage is always funneled to Krau, so that even if they don't attack him at all, eventually you'll be able to slam them with the S3, and they'll have to account for that. In Guild Wars, the other artifact that some people occasionally use is Holy Sacrifice. it's great for Krau. Because what people want to do to deal with Krau is to one-shot him. So they'll bring like Yafine or something and one-shot Krau to make sure he can't S3. But Holy Sacrifice is an X factor because you kill him and he comes back with 25% health. So perfect range to counter with the S3. So when you kill him, he revives immediately and then slams you in the face and one-shots one of your units. The one downside to Holy Sacrifice is that for an avid Guild Wars player, if they hit a Krau team and they don't see an Aureus or an Adamant pop up, right away they'll assume they're on Holy Sacrifice and they'll adjust accordingly. But still, it's a tricky artifact and fun to use and might get you some random RNG wins. So with that said, everyone's favorite part, everyone always wants this, let's showcase him in PvP. So let's hit this champion defense. Time for a Mr. Krau showcase. We're going to bring Amomo, Krau, SSB, and Kayron. But SSB is tired, and Kayron's an asshole. So we're going to bring this team, and the game doesn't like it. I don't know why, it looks like a good team to me. And we're going to see what we could do with Mr. Krau. I don't know, let's get up the defense buff. There we go, he gets countered a little bit. Yeah, who cares? We'll do this. We'll just give him immunity. Play him. There we go. Elena makes her whole team invincible. SSB's up at bat. We'll just heal through that as well. Alright, now let's provoke this SSB. Eat a counter here. Apoc Robbie does Apoc Robbie things. Ouch, these dual attacks. We'll try and sleep. Let's try and provoke this SSB now. Perfect. Amomo survives the onslaught, thanks in part to Krau's nice little defense buff. And now they switch to Mr. Krau. And, I don't know. Do we need to do anything here? Now Mr. Krau's pissed off, so he's gonna go teach this SSB a lesson. SSB barely survives. Krau's still taking a little beating. No problem though. Let's fix him right up. We'll push SSB back. And SSB is dead. And this is the power of Krau. With the defense buff, he has so much sustain while simultaneously being able to one-shot people with his S3. Now this is going to be a long match, so I'm going to fast forward a little bit to the kills, but we're going to see that I'm able to 2v4 this team just using Mr. Krau. Alright, let's see. Do we have enough for a kill here? Let's wait one more turn. I think we could wait out one more turn. I'm not sure how much health this ML Ken has. Actually, he's getting a little low there, so we'll top him off a little bit. 16k. So remember, Krau does damage in accordance with how much life he's down, so we'll just finish off this Elena first before trying to go for a kill. Now that should be enough, so we're gonna burn Krau here. Hit this ML Ken. ML Ken goes down, we get another turn. And Elena is down. So there we go, champion defense 2v4'd with Mr. Krau. This is why Mr. Krau's good. Now this APOC Ravi is probably going to take some time, but don't worry, we'll get to it. Stay tuned. Alright, I think we're nearing the final stretch here. So, let's whack this APOC Ravi. Does she have her S3? No, she doesn't, so I think we can wait one more turn. We'll just do this. We'll whack her once. She whacks me back. And then, it's time for the Mr. Krau special. Let's see how long you can last. Whap, 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 whap. APOC Ravi is down. And 2v4 complete. Now, just to prove that I didn't mock the recording, these are the battle results. Krau did more damage than anyone. He took more damage than anyone. And I don't know how he healed himself. Oh, probably his I don't even know what that means. Maybe the barrier. But as you can see, this is the power of Krau. He can one-shot pretty much anyone in the game if he's at low life. And he has a lot of sustain. He was able to tank through an SSB, an ML Ken, and an APOC Ravi. All heroes known for hitting pretty damn hard, and slowly clobbered this team down. Now this wasn't fast by any means. Krau's actually not a great arena offense hero because typically you want to cleave for efficiency. But if you run up against a team that you know is going to be really hard because they're either much better gear than you or really tanky or something, you can pretty much cheese any defense with Krau or Dark Corvus. The rounds just take really long if you choose to do so. But I can beat pretty much any Legend player using a Krau offense, but it'll take like 5-10 minutes, so it's not in my best interest to do so. So that's how you use Krau in PvP. Let's move on. So, let's sum up Mr. Krau. Is he good? Of course, pretty much everyone I review is good. Maybe later on when I go into the bottom of the barrel heroes, I won't say that. But arena offense, I give him a B. Not because he's not godly. He's really godly, but the way that he kills people just takes too damn long. So you can pretty much beat any defense with Krau easily, but the matches will be like 10 minutes long. That's really not an effective arena offense strategy. But if you're dealing with a really tough team and you want to beat the last fight to get your free arena flag or whatever, Krau is definitely S, but in general I'd give him a B. Arena defense, I'd give him like an A. The problem is Basar completely neuters him, and the AI can be stupid with using the S3, so he's really just a B at best. B, A, B probably. The defense buff is very helpful for stall teams, but in general, because the AI can be manipulated so easily with this, in arena format, I don't think he's that good. Guild Wars offense, S. So for struggling new players who are struggling in Guild Wars, building the team I showcased in the arena section, like a Soul Weaver Krau team, is the easiest way to get easy wins against defenses that are much stronger than you. Just basically tank it out. Krau's very hard to kill, he's very tanky. Tank it out and slowly whittle down their players by spamming the S3. Yes, the matches will be long, but in Guild Wars it's only 3v3. It doesn't take as long as Arena, and he is definitely God S tier in Guild Wars offense. Guild Wars defense, I give him an A. He might even be close to an S. The problem is smart players will avoid the S3 or manipulate the S3 so that they either provoke him or skill nullify or something right before he S3s. But in general, he's a very scary threat, especially on Holy Sacrifice or something, because the attacker always has to wonder, oh crap, I can't hit the Krau, otherwise he's going to S3 me and one-shot one of my important heroes. Also, the fact that he has a provoke really helps with that. So Guild Wars defense, definitely an A, maybe borderline S. RTA, he's an S. Very popular pick, especially against SSB, because she's countering all the time, making his health go lower, and then he hits you in the face with the S3. Very popular pick in RTA. If they don't have FCC, they pretty much will take Krau every time. Has a lot of damage mitigation, a lot of offensive power, and a lot of disruption with the provoke from the S1. So that's Mr. Krau. If you haven't, congratulations, he's a beast. If you're struggling in Guild Wars particularly, just build Krau and easy mode the defenses. The matches will be long, but it'll be consistent, and you'll crack pretty much any defense that doesn't have enough DPS to crack a Krau Soul Weaver combo. That's my review. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below, and thanks for watching. Let me know what hero you want reviewed next. Till next time, peace out, guys.